kind of shit we already did that I'm going to now talk about. Here, could you put that, Dylan, get that, stick that back on the rack where it goes in the shop. All right, there's your first lesson. Keep your tools where they belong. Okay, so if you'll come over here first. I'm doing all this siding. This is siding that rich people threw away at the end of a job instead of keeping it in case the shingles on their roof went bad.
Right.
They got rid of boxes of it with the clips and everything.
Amazing.
So I'll show you a little bit about that later, but I'm putting the siding on. I had to move this electrical box to do it. It was on a piece of rotten wood. I put another piece of wood on there. I put new steel above and below it. It's all going to eventually be rocked up around anyway, up to that siding.
Right.
Okay, but then I'm going wrong, and I'm getting ready. I'm looking at the front, and I realized that the freeze thaw has dumped this pole over another 6 inches.
Yep.
It was already leaning. Now it's
And it's
leaning
bent.
from at the top. It's leaning at least another 6 inches
Yep.
over what it was leaning before. And I was going to try to jerry rig it. But then it's a good thing I didn't, because if I ever had to change it, then all of the wiring would be in cement.
Right.
And I noticed the bottom has got a lot of rot on it.
Of course.
Here, see?
Of course, this thing is how old?
It's all, at least 40 years
At
old.
least 40.
Because we've been here 33 years,
Yeah.
and the guy before us. Okay, so on the top, if you can see the top's got rot too.
Oh, yeah.
So the wire's only staying in there because it wants to at this point. So we have to change it out. The electric company does not help you at all.
Right.
At all. Maybe yours is different. Ours isn't. Our electric company charges us great big amounts of money for electricity.
Right.
They don't want to do anything when it's on a freaking trailer.
Mm-hmm.
To do it on a house, I would have to buy this part.
Right. The metal stuff here.
weatherhead.
The weatherhead.
The weatherhead down to the box, I would have to buy, and they actually furnished the meter part, of course.
Yes.
But I would have to buy this box. I'd have to buy the weatherhead. That would be it. They would wire it directly to the house.
And it would be done.
They will not do that on a trailer because it's not a permanent structure.
Right.
They call this power pole a temporary power source.
Yeah.
Okay. Meanwhile, this trailer has been here at least 50 years.
Right.
Okay. So, yes, it's very old. Which is why it's so well built. At any rate, that's neither nor there. Okay, so you have to buy the pole and all this shit.
And have it put together.
Feast your eyes on $700 worth of shit.
Yep. Right here.
Okay? And when they deliver it, he delivered it on a dump bed.
Mm-hmm.
Remember I said the power company does nothing? You know, they have auger trucks and they have cable lifts. They do nothing. I had to dig a 4-foot post hole
Right.
by hand.
Yep.
In order to dig a hole 4 foot deep with a post hole digger that is all together to the blue mark, that's 4 foot.
Right.
So how am I gonna dig a freaking 4-foot post hole with
Right.
when that's 4 foot?
Right.
You can't. So what I did was, and you can tell it got loose during the process, because I realized what I did wrong, so I'll explain it to you so you don't do it. So I just went and got some little 2x boards. But what I did was I put the screws too close together. There was one here and one there. I should have put the screw all the way up here.
Oh, and then
all
way
the
down
here.
the bottom.
And I drilled before I screwed it, because if I didn't, it would have split my handle in
Right.
two. Okay, and then I duct taped the shit out of it.
Mm-hmm.
For the last 3 inches, the duct tape was doing more than the screws were. But
And then when you got in there, how did you get the dirt out? I mean, because you can't, it's longer than you are tall, so how'd you get it?
so I had to lean back. I pick it up like that.
Uh-huh.
I had to lean back. And then one of the boys would pick up the end of it and put it in the wheelbarrow. And then they would have to screw. Because as you can see, the entire time we're digging this, it's filling with water.
Yep.
Because why? We live in the bottoms, and we have had way too much rain and freeze thaw.
Right.
So it fills with water. We literally, the first day I did it, the first 2 foot, I did by myself completely. So the first 2 foot, I was bailing water out of the hole.
With
every
that
few
bucket.
minutes.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
hauled
with a
off.
pump.
Yeah.
Use a sump pump.
Okay, well, I'll talk about the sump
I'm
pump
sorry.
in a minute. So I was bailing water out of the hole to about 2 foot. I wound up hauling off 20 gallons of water.
Oh my goodness.
Digging a 2 foot post hole, and I didn't hit any rock.
Yeah.
Okay. So the second part of it, you can't dip, you can't keep dipping. You can't reach down after 2 foot. So I went and got the sump pump, and I'll show you how I rigged it up. But anyway, so yesterday we had that sump pump in that hole 7 times
Oh my goodness.
in order to dig the last 2 feet. At about, I want to say, what, about 2.5 foot when we hit slate, boys? We were at about 2.5 foot when we hit slate. So the rest of it moved pretty slowly.
Brake
But
bar. That's why the brake bar.
that's why the brake bar. And that was fun because you had to throw it and then reach down and pick it up. But anyway,
Oh my goodness.
that's how I come have muscles like this, girls. Yeah, muscles.
What's all the concrete for?
Okay, the concrete's going to go back in the hole to set this because 2 things. That pole is not set in concrete, and again, bottom land. So wires are extremely heavy, okay?
Right.
Put ice on them, which we had an ice storm. So we had an ice storm on top, and then that probably did part of that. But also, they're all very, very, I have to do everything by the specs, completely, with the rules, blah, 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 by the book, blah, 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 blah. Meanwhile, if you look at the old meter, that
Yeah.
meter's supposed to be at eye level.
Yeah, not exactly.
The post's supposed to be in 4 foot in the ground. That post is not 4 foot in the ground.
No, it's not.
Which is why it's fallen over.
Yep.
Okay, so they delivered this.
Yes.
They delivered it on a flatbed dump truck.
Right.
You know, it has a pickup bed that
Right.
does this, right?
Right.
So all he would have had to do was slide right up to the post. He picks it up, and we level it into the hole.
Right.
He cannot do that because of the insurance. The truck is this high off the ground. If he could have backed up close to the hole, and we could have gotten the right angle, me and the boys could have picked it up and stuck it in the hole. That's not legal. So now my son, the genius, is going to have to come and try to figure out how we're going to put this pole in this freaking hole because no one else will do it. They said get an electrician. An electrician doesn't have a freaking cable lift. So I don't know how an electrician's supposed to get it in the hole either. Plus, I don't want to pay that fee. Okay, so this is what I did to my sump pump yesterday to use it in the mud hole. To use it in the mud hole, I save these all the time, and so should you.
Oh, yes.
They're 100 times versatile. They're the net bags off oranges.
Oranges, yeah. Another
Oranges,
citrus.
grapefruits,
Yeah.
tangerines, sometimes on potato bags. And I just put it on there and I duct taped it in place. And that way I didn't have to worry about sucking
Rocks and
rocks
clods
up
and stuff into it. Yeah.
my pump body.
That is brilliant.
And well, I'm not brilliant any of this shit. If I was rich, I would just say, magic wand, come and fix everything. But anyway, so yeah, I've been doing 40 billion things that we haven't filmed at all. And if Lynn will leave this here, I'll have the boys and we'll show you how we're putting the siding on.
Oh, I'd like to actually see that if you're getting ready to do it.
Okay.
Okay? I'll shut off and start again in a minute. Okay, now.
Okay, so this is the siding. It's actually really easy to use. Okay, but to do what I needed to do, we had a lot of rot here, which we had to take off,
Right.
and then I spray painted it. Okay, but what I needed was something to keep the splash up from
Right.
hitting it.
Uh-huh.
Plus, I'm sure that these either come with a bracket that you use for the bottom,
Right.
or there's some way of using the brackets that you use for the top on the bottom to hold them in place, but I didn't know what they were. So what we're doing is
You're customizing. Let me
this.
show them.
We're customizing.
Let me see if I can show them underneath. Don't know if they can see that or not. If they can't, I will take it out.
Give me the hammer, Dylan.
Okay.
Okay, so what we're doing is, on the bottom, I'm
Now,
using
with
my
that-
truck, my truck. Okay, so at the bottom we're customizing them. And what we're doing is this. That's supposed to snap onto the next shingle. So, opening it up, by opening it up, it goes right over the siding, which keeps the siding from getting wet. On the bottom, which is covering up, and it's covering up all the siding that's damaged already,
Right.
plus it's protecting it. So here's the question. So we have just enough boxes, which we didn't know until we finished one side.
Right.
We have just enough boxes, and I knew we didn't have enough to go all the way up. We have just enough boxes to go 3 high all the way around. Which, if you look down here, takes us past the windows just a little bit, which is going to look really sharp. When we
Yes,
get
it
done.
is, because you're going to trim all
I'm
of that
trimming
out.
it, yeah, and
Yeah.
I'll show them how I trim it later. But at any rate, so this is going to stop the rot from happening on this siding, because all of the rot happens in the part that gets wet.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm turning that over. When I turn this over, it's actually so easy to put up. I'll show you how. I'll show you.
Okay, we'll come right back
Shit on the front wall.
on the front wall.
90% of all those electric cords, no, not electric, phone and
But
cable.
phone and cable was not used anymore, I
Only
know.
one
I
of
know.
those lines was still used. So, okay, so this is how easy this is. Okay, so you take these clips, and remember, all of this was...
Can I see one?
All of this, I got because
Someone
some
threw it away.
rich guy had these put on their house, and when my friend who roofed their house left, they wouldn't pay him till he took these away.
The extra.
Yeah, the extra. And so, okay, so you just put the clips on. Okay, boyos, come here, eh? I thought I had the right head in there, but I don't. That goes in there. Okay, so what I do is I keep my different heads in different bags so that they always get put away. If they always get put away right, then they're easier to find. Alright. So, let's see which one fits. That one won't fit. And let me bitch again about the fact that they don't make all of these exactly the same, because it would make life easier if they would. That's too loose. This particular screw in this head, if that's not tight, it will not go in. It will wobble around like a biatch. And of course, 50 billion of them.
Of course.
It's like, well, if you had them in a little marked bag, that would be great. I don't have that. And I'm never going to, so there's that. Okay, is that the right size? Nope.
Okay, I'll come back.
It may still be
And
small.
as soon as I turned off the camera.
Yeah, it's like I had camera nerves or something. I don't know. That's fine. Okay, get that piece and hand it over here, boyos. Bring it over here.
Don't be afraid of the camera. Do what you normally do.
They're fine. They're not afraid of the camera. They're used to it now. They're movie stars. They tell all their friends.
Okay, what is? Do you hook that in over there or something?
Okay, hold that end up. No, you can't.
Because this
hook it
was a
in.
modified one.
I customized that so that it actually wrapped around the corner. Okay, because on the bottom,
And you're
I
going to
didn't
put
want
a
there to
metal
be-
trim there. I mean, a wooden trim.
Yeah,
too.
that we wouldn't trim over that. Okay. So you get that nice and tight, and then you put these screws right in here. That's how easy it is. Okay, keep hold of it. There we go.
Wow.
All right. Okay, now go get me the drill. I think it's in the shop. Why don't you go get the drill, please? And I'll just tell you what I did, because you can see on the other side.
Yeah, I can show
Now,
them.
what I have to do on this bottom edge, because I don't have anything to click it into, is I have to drill some holes. And then when I drill the holes, I screw that in.
Okay, so the bottom edge will stay.
So the bottom edge is not going to blow around.
Right. That makes sense.
So, like I said, there's probably some way Zeb and I, when we did that part down there, Zeb and I were experimenting with how you would do that so that it would hold, but we never did figure it out, so there's that.
There's probably some other little something that wasn't in the boxes. Who knows?
At any rate, so we'll just drill holes across here. You can see where I did it here.
Uh-huh.
And then we just screw it in.
That's amazing.
And I'm having to cut around. You can see that I painted this door.
Uh-huh.
Okay, I'm going to trim it in red.
Mm-hmm.
The trim will come to where I cut this to.
Okay. And then you seal everything. You always do.
Then I'm going to seal everything.
You always do. Yeah.
So hopefully it'll last us a good long time.
Sounds amazing. Okay, I'm going.
Let's just, yeah.
So less than an hour later. Pretty crazy. This side is done. And they're over here. They've already started the second row there behind the shrubbery. And they're carrying it all the way down there. Okay, you're on.
All right. So I just take a drill, drill some holes in there, real quick. Now we're stopping this here because this is where the porch is going to go on.
Oh, okay.
So this is just going to get painted
Right.
because this is where the porch goes on.
Okay.
So, yay. Well, you know.
That makes sense.
And my
I see you
copies-
put that extra piece underneath just because it was...
No, I did that because there was a big mess there.
That's what I said, because there was a big
Yeah,
mess
all
is what I
kinds of
said.
rot and everything, and I covered up a world of ill with it.
That's awesome. And stopped a lot of future
And
problems.
stopped a lot of people.
So you're just put screws then in there to make sure it
Yeah, we
stays.
just put regular screws. Well, rubber.
Yeah, right. Those you were using over there earlier.
Uh-huh.
That's cool.
And I'm sure some of you guys are going to say, oh, you're supposed to turn that little flange thing this way and that way and do it. And it's like, did you not see I customized the bottom of it to make it cup around so the little flange thing wouldn't work? I did figure out something cool though with doing them around windows and shit.
Uh-huh.
Which is you can snap the... Hand me one of those clips, boys. You got a clip? In your pocket? Do you have a clip? No?
No.
He had one in his clip.
Apparently he
Okay,
used
so
it.
you can take the clips. I don't know.
Which is what you're talking
Okay,
about.
so let me, while we're doing here, I'm talking about my GoFundMe campaign. Everybody's always saying, Selina, do a GoFundMe campaign and do this and do a GoFundMe campaign. Here's my GoFundMe campaign. Go buy my fucking books, you assholes!
Yeah, there you go.
That's my freaking GoFundMe campaign. I don't need to be a charity case. I need to sell books.
Take it to her, hun.
Lots and lots of books. Okay, so when you get to the side, right around the windows, you can clip this on the side, and then, of course, that's not the way you would want to do it.
No.
But you can clip it on and then tack it down. So
Oh,
it
okay.
works really well that way.
Awesome.
I'm just like, I would show them how to do it, but I don't.
But you're not
know
around
how
a window
yet.
right now. Yeah.
Oh, I can too. I can do it down. I'll show you what I mean. So what you do is do it on the top part. When it comes to, if you have the lid come out, you can do this. You can actually fasten them in this
Oh,
way
I
too.
see.
You can actually fasten them in that way too.
Oh, that is amazing.
See, I can put that on there and then come back and do the siding right over the top of it.
Yeah, but you don't want to do that.
I'm going to though. just to show them.
Okay, there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay. They have finished this long side. See, they put it around all the, and she's going to trim all of that out, of course, with wood and seal it with caulk and silicone, I'm sure. And then, of course, that's where the porch is that she's going to add on, a big porch. It's going to go all the way to the end of the building. And now they're working on the other side where the new power pole is going to go in. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, we're almost done, and I'm going to have to run to the other shop to find the fucking angle grinder, the electrical angle grinder. Actually,
do you want me to go look?
Back over,
sure, I'll go.
If you...
Wow. That looks so good. And having that, the metal shod there around on the bottom is going to help a lot.
Oh, it should. It should. Let's hope.
Wow.
My butt's dragging my track.
I bet. You got anything to say to the peoples before I sign off for this one?
Oh, I don't know. Not really.
Okay. Don't do this at home.
Yeah. Yeah. This is what poor people do. You don't want to do this, get rich.
So I'm going to be bringing other videos to you as they do other things on the menu. Bye. Okay, we are on.
All right, so all the worrying about how we were going to stand this great big pole in this hole. And so my son came to help me. My son, the genius,
Yes.
came to help me. And he got here, and we were like humming and hawing, and I'm like, you know, we came to the conclusion that what we could do was pick the top of the pole up.
And his truck was like right here.
He brought his truck right here.
Yeah.
So pick the top of the pole up, put it into the bed of his truck because it's taller than mine.
Right.
And then I would take a piece of steel and put down the back of the hole so that as we pushed the pole up, it wouldn't dig into the dirt.
Right.
And then just collapse the whole hole. And then we would work it up by standing on the thing, and then we would work it up till we got it in. And of course, to do that, we were going to need braces for when we got it up there. So while I was screwing that board over there that went up and down
On the wall.
into the stud
Right.
that's in the wall to hold it, I'm doing that. And apparently I did not see it. Lynn did, but I didn't. Apparently, little Willie put it on the back of the pickup truck, thought that's not that heavy, picked the whole thing up, hugged it,
Bear hugged it.
walked over and threw it in the hole. I heard some noise behind me, turned around and said, "What was that?" And he starts laughing.
And I said,
realized the pole
Yep.
is in the ground.
right.
So that's how that little problem was solved. All you have to have, people, is a badass son who's a genius.
There you go. Okay. Awesome. Bye.